Hello Spurs fans, near and far, with your boy Deji Spurs back with another one. We are still talking Spurs because I'm not going to lie to you, I am absolutely fuming, but I am delighted. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a minute now with my good friend Sean Paxton Road. Just so you know, before I invite Sean to give a short intro, Paxton Road is the channel that birthed Deji Spurs. I was birthed from Paxton Road. That's where I started my kind of YouTube journey, and we remain family. We remain brothers. So big up to Sean. Big up to everyone from my Paxton Road family. Sean, how are you before we get into it, mate? You all right?
I'm in a good place, aren't you? You're a very angry man yesterday.
Mate, I'm absolutely fuming, mate. I'm fuming because our club, Tottenham Hotspur, I was happy to take Postecoglou and what he done over the season,
right?
Because of all the hoo-ha. But this season, this coming season, this summer, we need big things to be done. Sorry, I can tell. Sorry.
I've got an echo. You're echoing on my phone.
No worries. We need big things to be done. We need to be making a statement because I know, Sean, we're the same. You can't be traveling to Spurs and then we're finishing below the scum. We're finishing below Arsenal. That is pissing me off. At the same time, I'm having to live with it, and I'm happy to live with it partially, provided that we go on and do big things. And big things means we need to bring in big players. So today, I really want to talk about, let's have a quick reflection on how you viewed the season overall. I gave my review. I know you gave it on Paxton Road, but just for anyone here that hasn't seen it, give us your quick review on Postecoglou the season so far. And then we'll talk about our expectations for the up-and-coming season, and then we'll touch on Timo Werner because I understand a little birdie tells me that Sean might have an opposition view on the Timo Werner point, so we will talk about that in the show. Big up to everyone that's locked in, locked on. Ghost is in the building. My expectations for next season is finishing third and winning a trophy. I echo that. I might not be as optimistic as Ghost because I'm saying maybe fourth with a trophy is still acceptable, but it'd be interesting to hear what Sean thinks. And audio artisans in the building, big up to you, locked in, locked on. Sean, quick overview, season so far. In your opinion, I gave it a 7 out of 10. How are you rating our season?
Yeah, I probably 6.5 to 7 is probably my feeling. But of course, I had an advantage on everyone else because for those who don't know me, I live in Paisley, which is 7 miles from Glasgow. So I've been seeing our brother, Ange, for the last couple of years, doing his magic at Parkhead, the other end of Glasgow from me. But so when he was linked, I was kind of, I was a bit torn because up here Celtic's my team, but obviously I'm a Spurs man. I've been going to Spurs since, if you see in my name thing, 20th of January 1968, I first darkened the doors of White Hart Lane.
Lovely.
And it was a North London derby. And we won 1-0.
Bloody hell.
Alan Gilsey scoring the winner. So who else could I support but Spurs?
Yeah.
The fact that it wound my uncle up, who was an Arsenal fan, my dad was a Spurs fan. Brilliant, even better. It meant every Christmas we'd have a little discussion over the turkey. Lovely. So that's my history with Spurs. I was really pleased when Ange was taken because I thought we were in a mess. We're in a mess. Think about it. A year ago, we were dusty, as you would say.
Fully dusty.
I mean, look at that Conte press conference. I mean, that was just like box office.
Yeah.
But the worst thing was people forget really quickly. 2 weeks ago, he turned on the fans.
He did, didn't he?
I'm saying,
if
you turn on the fans, you're in trouble. And Ange nearly fell for it there at the back end of the season.
Yeah.
You don't turn on the fans. The fans know we've been investing. You know, I've been investing for 50 years. You know.
Yeah.
You don't turn on the fans. The fans know what we know. The history of that mob. You know, the squatters from Woolwich. You know,
squatters down
you know
the road.
What I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, they even went to Fulham before they came to bloody Islington. So don't give me that. You know, I detest them. You know, it's the first fixtures you look for when the fixtures are released. It's the game you want to win. It's the game you hate when it's on. It's like stomachs like that.
100%.
Once the game's over, you just want, you know, I'll take a 1-0 win with it going in off Tony Adams' arse or whatever, you know, anything like that. So we've had a so we finished 8th the season before. We finished 5th.
Yeah.
So we finished. So that's progress.
Yeah, but can I just ask you a quick question though before we get into that? And big up to Donna, Colin, and Ghost in the building. I will get to Donna. Donna is Spurs representative, giving us inside transfer news. So there's some clangers here, which we'll draw upon. Is Postecoglou, Sean, legit? You're there in Scotland. You see him. You saw him week in, week out. You saw the job he done on Celtic. A lot of the stuff that I get trolled about is he plays this high line. He doesn't learn. Blah blah blah. I see Postecoglou as potentially being Pochettino 2.0. I reckon he will take us to the promised land. I reckon we win a trophy under Postecoglou. I reckon we compete and we become we do an Arsenal in a sense where we are fighting for the Premier League, we're fighting for the Champions League season in, season out, as long as he's there. But I don't know him well. This is just a feeling. This is just a gut reaction from him by the way that he carries himself. Looking at what he's done at Celtic, you were there, bird's eye view. You saw it, you know, in and amongst it. You were immersed in it. Can he do the same with Spurs? Or is like a lot of the trolling fans, Villa fans, Arsenal fans, is he flattering to deceive? Will Postecoglou get found out?
No, I don't think he gets found out. Last season, I think you said yesterday, it was a learning curve, wasn't it? It was the learning season, and that's the same. He took over. I mean, people are going to decry the fact that Scotland is not elite. He took over Celtic in a worse position than even the Spurs were. They'd lost the league by 20-odd points the season before. You know what I mean? He turned them around. He did go toe-to-toe with Real Madrid in the Champions League. So he is going to play like that. I'll tell you what, it's winning football. It's winning football. In the leagues that he's all gone round, it's winning football. And I think next season, those of us who think top 4 is on, any place between 2nd and 4th is on, and the trophy is on. That's what we should be looking at. That's what I'm expecting next season.
Fantastic. So we can rest easy then as Spurs fans that he's going to do the right. We can rest easy. Good. Because, I like him. I like what he's done. I like the presence. I like the way he plays ball. And one of my arguments has been that he hasn't had the players. You can see in the City game, if the players knew where to be, and he's been moaning all season about the front three not quite knowing what to do. Once that clicks, it's going to be a madness for the rest of the league. I'm not shaking my bum violently just yet, but I think next season could be a very, very positive season for our club, getting us back into the promised land, as you say. So, Sean, big up on that point then. So, as you were saying, we finished 5th from going 5th. So you're saying you're seeing that as progress?
Well, 8th and out of Europe to 5th in the Europa League, which is the next best thing to the Champions League. More points, more goals.
Were you disappointed we didn't get Champions League football?
I think I was disappointed post the Villa game away. The way we dispatched Villa was top. That was the last good performance of the season for me.
Yeah,
and we actually put them on toast. We made them look very, very dusty. In fact, I'm sure we helped prepare Olympiacos to do a job on them in the Conference League as well. You know what I mean? We absolutely hammered them. Emma was, he just looked like. You can see the assault that McGinn was reduced to on Destiny. You know what I mean? it was the best. It was the last really good performance, but it was, I think the players started. I think we didn't have the depth of squad, and this is the problem. We're having to play the same players, and then when ones get injured, obviously the replacements are just not good enough.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Although he did do a great job in managing what he had.
Oh yeah.
And I argued that it took him pretty much to the bloody end of the season for him to realise that actually you can play Van de Ven at left back. That's one headache that we don't have to worry about moving forward for next season. It's an option. It's not my preferred option, but we now know it's a viable option in terms of moving forward, because all this playing Ben Davis, I think a lot of the reason why the Spurs fan base were pretty pissed off is because we knew that Ben Davis was going to get ripped against Saka. We knew it. We saw the lineup. We went, what's he doing? Like, why are you doing it? Emerson Royale against Mo Salah. I mean, come on. You don't have to be at the training ground to see that that's just a disaster waiting to happen. But it's almost like he had to kind of feel the pain and convince himself that this ain't going to work. And I think moving forward now for Postecoglou, he now knows Emerson Royale, that Nemekit, he ain't going to be playing as cover at left back, and actually Van de Ven will be our first port of call if we don't bring in a left back in the summer. Would you agree?
Well, Joe, one thing about Ange is he's refreshingly honest.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm just.
And when he said he took a while to play Van de Ven at left back. He did say the reason I don't want to swap him there is because it is a totally different position, left back in his system to a left centre back. And those who were at the City game, I wasn't at the City game, but those at the City game were saying that after 28 minutes, Van de Ven was blowing out his backside. Was actually saying, don't pass it to me at one point in the first half. So, let's not get carried away that thinking Van de Ven is the solution necessary. And given the one thing I will give Ange, he said that boy has had a serious hamstring injury this season. I didn't want to put him through that, knowing what I would expect of my left wing back or my left back.
Yeah,
particularly, and he's desperate to play in the Euros for his country this summer as well. So I can understand why he didn't immediately do that. And he did do it against Sheffield United, and let's be honest. If we're talking dusty clubs, that one that one's under like it needs to be discovered. We need to send them the guys that discovered Tutu and Carmoon to find that club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so and obviously he created one of the goals, but I wouldn't have. I can understand why Ange didn't put him there. I couldn't understand why he played Royale against Salah. That was
stupid. That was stupid. I mean,
yeah.
But I guess, I think he needed to be convinced. I mean, I would say Ben Davis and Emerson Royale did a sterling job playing out of position at centre back. Anyone that's played the game knows that it's not easy to play in a position that is alien to you or not yours. And I thought, for me, the Ben Davis and Emerson Royale deserve, massive applause for the performance they put in at the Etihad for us to come away with a 3-3 draw. I mean, that, let's not just always look at the negative. Let's look at the positive. However, I never want to see these two brothers on my wing ever again. Do you get what I'm saying? Never want to see
hopefully the links for Emerson, and if they are just links at the minute, means that the brother's going to be playing in Italy next season. You know what I mean? So,
well, just picking up on that, because Donna in the chat has put here, Mr. Deji, we are also on course to sell Emerson Royale. So that looks like the AC Milan deal might be going through. And if that does go through, that is absolutely bloody great business. But Donna's dropped this spanner as well, which is that there is an offer from Al Ali Saudi for Mr. Richarlison. We are planning to sell him for some big oil money. Now, for me, Sean, I've been a fan from Emerson Royale from day one. I've been telling Spurs fans to keep the faith. He got 12 Premier League goals, which is not bad. Remember what we've come from? Llorente, yeah, Janssen, yeah, that bloody Vinicius that was at Fulham that's gone over to PSV. I don't know where he is right now. Could be at Galatasaray, for all I bloody know.
Half our team's at Galatasaray, man.
Oh, I can see that. They bloody won the league.
You've even got living club mascot Ndombele. You know, he's there as a club mascot, and your team wins the league. Last year, Galatasaray this year.
Do you know what? We're gonna get into this because Spurs players leaving our club and getting trophies has just got to bloody stop. It's actually beginning to piss me off. But how do you feel about Richarlison and Emerson Royale? Emerson Royale, I kind of think we know, but would you like to see Richarlison gone?
Do you know, the best ability is availability, and that is really what's held Richarlison's back, because the brother last season, he was under the knife, or he was under the shrink, or he was, whatever. He was, there was something not right with him. However, when Son went away to the championships there in January, he saved our bacon. He saved our bacon because he went in that little purple patch. Now, if we can spread that over a season, then I think I'm less reluctant to push Richarlison out the door.
Yeah,
I think his public pronouncement. He seems happy in his private life. Yeah, he seems happier. He's training in Sao Paulo, I think, this summer, as I think you said yesterday.
Yeah, and he's training. You know what I mean? Yeah, he wants to come back sharp. I like that. I like that attitude.
And it's about a squad. It's about a squad. Too often, once you took our first choice away, the drop off was so bad.
Yeah.
And also it was obviously not having enough matches meant that we couldn't see any of our talented kids as well.
Yeah.
It was a lot, it was shocking, the fact that we're having to sort of play, Royale up against that was just I felt sorry for him. He's the most right-footed player in the world, and he's playing on the left side. It was killing him.
The only thing I would criticise Postecoglou, if I am going to criticise him, though, is if you are playing players out of position, then surely you've got to keep it simple. So for me, if I was in charge and I was going to play Emerson Royale, I'd just be saying, Emerson, I just need you to man mark Salah. Kick him down, fly kick him in the back of his head, do whatever you got to do, pull his shorts down. I don't care if it's not PG anymore. Just do whatever you need to do to stop this player from moving forward. But when I saw that he's still expecting these brothers to do that inverted roll, you're mad. You're mad. So, when people talk about Postecoglou being truly stubborn, I could kind of see it in a way because...
Yeah, it's like, for example, by the end of the season, Porro was running on empty. He was absolutely done in because he never missed a game. He never missed a game. Where was his rotation? The fella was just done in, and that told in the end, because if you see him in his early form, all those lovely curved passes into Son's path, all the crossing, great corner at Old Trafford, which Richarlison nodded in. All those things disappeared because the brother was done. He was done in, and unfortunately, well, the good thing is for us is that he hasn't been called up by Spain, so he's away on holiday with his missus in Mallorca and living the hay life. You know what I mean?
All of this is blessings in disguise. I mean, Arsenal fans are out there shaking their bum violently. They're shaking their bum violently because they had an exceptional season in the sense that they hardly had any injuries to key players. Saliba bloody had a whole season injury-free. Bloody hell, Gabriel Morales played injury-free. So when you've got your two centre-backs, and we know it was in the centre-back department that cost maybe the Gooners the league the last time, having Declan Rice pretty much all season, bloody hell, having Saka all season. Imagine if that Chelsea game didn't finish the way it finished. Imagine. Romero wasn't...
I was there.
Madders is not out for 11 matches. Van de Ven, because remember, we even rushed these players back. That's why I think that's part of the reason why it's taken Madders quite some time to get up to speed. He wasn't fully ready to come back. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if that didn't happen. Who would have stopped our club? Do you know what I'm saying? So when I'm out there saying Tottenham can go toe-to-toe with these teams, of course we can. That Man City team that we lost to 2-0 at our gaff, our first defeat in our new stadium to City in the Prem, you couldn't get a stronger Man City lineup. And we still outplayed them off the park in that first half.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know. I mean, it is madness. I mean, that City, you know, we do have their number. We have their card marked. You know, if anything, we were helping Arsenal. You know, the fact is they couldn't beat us at their place. So that's where their 2 points went. You know.
Yeah, no, big up, 100%. No, big up to everyone locked in, locked on. It's good to see you. Lunchtime special with my boy Sean. It's been a minute. We are dissecting Tottenham season. We are talking Spurs this afternoon and thoroughly enjoying it moving forward. So, look, there was a comment in the chat, and I think it was from Ghost. He said, first and foremost, Orange was must be getting backed. We were never meant to finish 5th this season with the squad we have, and I think he does have a point. And then I think it is Ghost, I can't see it now, who then goes on to mention that if we don't win, if we don't finish in the top 4 with a trophy, then it's a failure for this coming season. Now, Sean, I know you know me very well. What I am doing is look, I hate Arsenal. Everyone knows in the chat I despise this football club. But if the Arsenal can give Arteta time, and then giving him time, remember they finished 8th, they finished 5th, and now the last 2 seasons they have finished 2nd. There's an argument that Postecoglou talked about. Do you want success, which is trophies, or are we looking for progress? Now, I want to see progress with success. What does that mean? For me, Postecoglou needs to finish top 4 next season if he is to stay in the job. 5th or below, I want him out of our club. Do you get what I'm saying? Because for me, that's not progress. And if we don't win a trophy, it's even more of a disaster. Okay? Then in season 3, we need to be finishing 3rd. Season 4, we need to be finishing 2nd. And by 2028, Spurs need to be winning the Premier League. We don't need to win a trophy in that process. I'm just talking about steady progression up the table. However, if we pick up a trophy along the way, i.e. when you do the London Marathon, you pick up a swig of water, by all means, if we pick up a Carabao Cup 1 or 2, I'll take that, but I won't be shaking my bum and I won't be mentioning those trophies either. Then I will take it as a positive. Would you say that is fair, given what you know of Postecoglou, given where we've been as a club, and what's your stance? I think you know my stance when it comes to trophies. I don't give a damn about the FA Cup. I don't give a damn about the Carabao Cup. What I care about are the 2 trophies that count in world football, Champions League and Premier League. But Sean, I'd be interested to hear your view.
So you're not coming to Bilbao with me next May then?
Bilbao for the Europa League?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I will go. I will go, but I'll be looking forward to the tacos at half time.
You're in the Basque country, mate. You'll be on pink shows, not you won't be on you won't be on the other Spanish stuff. No, it's I'll tell you what. If we finish 6th and won the Europa League, would that not be good?
I mean, 6th and the Europa League would be good because we're in the Champions League and we satisfy the trophy. Yes, I guess for me that I can live with that because we're in the Champions League. We must get Champions League football, and if that's the way, I think that I can work with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you know what it is. I'm so old school, as I said. You know, I've been going since 1968. What I want, there's a whole lot of young, and I include you in that thing, who've not seen us pick up anything. Yeah. And I think back to Ferguson, probably the most successful manager in the Premier League era. For 5 years, he won nothing. Yeah. Won nothing. He was on the verge of getting sacked. In fact, they were nearly losing to Oxford United, and Robin scored an equaliser and got on the replay, and then they went on to win the FA Cup. And then what happened? You touched the silver, and then suddenly the silver just kept coming, kept coming. Titles, you know, they won the Champions League, you know, you name it. I just think this is a club, and we've got players in our squad who just need to touch that silver. And I think if we touch the silver, it'll spiral.
So any silver or a big silver?
I would. Do you know what? I'm so old school. I want us to win the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All my best memories. You know, Ricky Villa final. Sitting next to my dad. God rest his soul. You know, him catapulting himself out the seat, landing 3 rows in front when Ricky scored the winner. You know what I mean? Those memories, you cannot buy them. And there's young kids go to Spurs, and I see them when I go to the games, and I just think you need to experience that. I mean, I was up in Glasgow on the day that Celtic clinched won the championship.
Yeah,
and I was seeing them there, and they just blocked the streets, and it was, it's like the pyro was going, and everyone was just, I so want that for Spurs.
Yeah.
I so want that for Spurs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Well, I didn't need to do it once because then I could die a happy man. I was born the week after we last won the title.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah.
1961, I was born.
Wow.
So, I want to see that once. I want to see it for the youngsters. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. And with my comments,
you did too.
No, and big up to you, Sean. I guess my kind of reservation for the FA Cup has not been because I love the magic of I used to love the magic of the cup.
Yeah.
But I think Arsene Wenger is them bloody cronies from down the road. When he started playing his kids, we went through a whole time where the managers were literally fielding their under 21s in the competition. And so they diluted it. And then it's been very hard to claw it back up. Look at Postecoglou. Look at the team he fielded against Fulham. I don't know if it was the Carabao or the FA. Can't really remember.
Yeah.
But, when you're seeing things like that, how can I take it serious? Do you know what I mean? These managers don't look bothered when they get knocked out because Champions League getting fourth for them is more of a trophy than winning the actual FA Cup. But no, I agree all I'm saying is I feel like managers of today have spoilt it for the likes of me. Which is why now I look past the FA Cup and say, look, it's got to be the Champions League or the Premier League because how else are we going to get respect? How else is anyone going to respect us? But I would love to
see me and you in Box Park in May, next year in Box Park, having a pint and enjoy the fact that we've beaten someone. And I do like the fact that we beat people, fans of teams that we meet on a day-to-day basis. Nothing can top this. I mean, the semi-final against Arsenal in '91. Oh my God!
I would love to slap up Arsenal in the FA Cup final this coming season. What a story! That would be something that I would love to troll and shake my bum violently about. I will swear, I will never let these guys give a man. Honestly, big up to everyone locked on. I just want to touch on. During this, we are touching on some transfer news. Donna is just dropping another gems. The first clear out of the summer will be Mr. Højbjerg. Massive interest from an Italian club in him. We are asking for more cash. Daniel Levy, stop this now. I know you're watching. Sell the brothers and bring in the brothers that we need. Now, for me, I would like to just publicly say that Højbjerg doesn't deserve to be on the chopping board. But I understand he's too good to be on the bench, in my opinion. He does he's a loyal servant. He's a bit like a Ben Davis, but slightly better. He can do a job for you, and he does an all-rightish job. Maybe not fantastic. He's all right. There's other players I would like to see gone before Højbjerg first. I don't know, Sean. Clearly you've got to
I'm looking at the 2 Man City games. And in teeing up De Bruyne in the cup game and teeing up Foden in the league game.
Yeah.
In our own box, I'm going, what? What are you doing? No.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I saw his value. You do see his value when you watch him in the stadium. You do see his value, but only under a system like Conte had. I don't think he just doesn't have it for an Ange attacking system. He's too safe, and Ange won't have it. That's why he's out. You know. Yeah. And good luck to him. He goes with my, you know, like any player that leaves Tottenham, they go with my good wishes. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a generation. Remember, 1984, UEFA Cup final.
Yeah.
You know, penalty shootout. Danny Thomas misses his penalty. Did we all turn on him? Did we all diss him? Did we? No. We said there's only one Danny Thomas.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, we've lost that in the fan base. We've lost that. We're really, really quick to criticise our players. And, you know, I mean, God forbid our young players, you know, the likes of Dorrington and Donnelly and Lancashire and all these really good players. I mean, that Tyrese Hall, my God, what a baller. Yeah. What a baller.
What he is, man. He is. And it's about time we start to see some of our academy boys come through, because that was something I was bummed about. I'm seeing everyone else bringing players through the academy, and I did think to myself, it's a damning indictment on the academy at Spurs, and it'd be good to hear Donna's thoughts on this. When we are struggling for players and we've not got a left back prospect, what the hell is the academy for? We should have ready-made players in our youngsters. I mean, that's one thing Arsenal are good at. One thing Man City could have. Look at the players Man City are bringing through. Even if that Bobby or whatever his name, Oscar Bob, got 1 or 2 games, he got 1 or 2 games. Do you know what I mean? Where's our next Carl Walker-Peters? Where's our next Harry Kane? That Mickey Moore should have been on the pitch from a long time. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we need to be showing faith, and hopefully.
Yeah, but do you know what? There's a mentality issue, Deji, in our fan base. If you see it in the likes of United and Liverpool, right? Winning mentality. When their youngsters come in, they are backed 100%. They make their mistakes, but they don't turn on them. Honestly, if one of our youngsters misses a 5-yard pass, we're on him like that. It's so judgmental, and it's become worse under social media. I mean, I saw some real cart horses playing for Spurs. I can tell you, know? I mean, you know,
you got to learn, innit? You got to give people,
but they've got to learn, you know.
Yeah,
and you know, like there's a player called Paul Sol, he had an unfortunate surname, John Pratt, right? Came through our academy, right?
Yeah.
He got slagged from pillar to post, every time. But I tell you what, he scored one of the best goals I ever saw down the lane, and it was like a header against Everton in a 3-1 win. And I just thought, that's how I remember him. But if you ask, you know, fans of my generation, they'll say, "Oh no, God, what a cart horse!" You know, just it's funny, isn't it? I mean, I'd rather support our players than particularly the ones that come through, because there's that whole generation of the under-21s. They're all Spurs fans. They're all from the locality. They're all Enfield boys. They're all Hertfordshire boys. They're all, you know, and you know, they know what it means. They know what it means. Yeah, they want to do it. You know.
Yeah, no, 100%, and you know, and I think you're right. We need to be showing more faith, because for me, it's football, and I still rule the fact that we got rid of Tanganga. I really think he could have been something. He had the physicality, he had the aggression. Maybe with a bit more fine tuning, a bit more coaching, maybe.
Yeah, the other thing, you know, I've said it before. The best ability is availability, and the brother was not available at key times. You know, injuries can do. You know, injuries and chance and luck and everything goes into it. You know, look at Troy Parrott. He's now tearing it up in Holland, but he never got the chance at Tottenham. He had 2 or 3, cup games, I think it was, and you know, he missed a penalty shootout in one of them, and. It's just. But anyway, maybe we'll sell him this summer and we'll get money for him. I don't know, but
but we need to start selling, and I don't know why Spurs aren't selling. I'm just picking up on points that you made earlier. Højbjerg doesn't want to play this style. It's too quick for him. He's not suited. I think you're right, and that's why he has to go. echoing Sean's point here. Donna says that Deji, in the summer we are clearing out Jill, Solomon, and Sessegnon. If we do that, we get rid of these three players in particular, then I will say that my club, our club, Sean, is starting to do serious things. And I'm going to touch on Werner. I'm just waiting to just deal with more questions.
This is quite a good lead in, actually, because those three players, I would say, are worse than Timo Werner.
I would say.
Sessegnon has probably got mitigating circumstances. The fact that his legs are made of papier-mâché, it's like, you can't help it. But you know what I mean? But Solomon,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, papier-mâché.
And it's like, Solomon played 5 games for Fulham this year. I think he's played 4 games for Tottenham this year. You can't build a squad around that. Akil, God love him, he'll probably go and tear it up in La Liga, but you blow on him and he falls over. You know what I mean? He doesn't make it.
Yeah. For me, I'm not going to lie to you, Sean. I think Werner is in that camp. Maybe not in terms of he's not injury prone, but all of these players have something in common. They're all made out of glass. And so is Timo Werner, mate. He's made out of bloody glass. I mean, if you blow him, he smashes to pieces. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I've got beef with Timo Werner. And you need to, because I know you've probably not heard this, so I'm going to break it down. Football is a contact sport, okay? Which means sometimes you're going to get fouled. Sometimes someone's going to barge you off the ball. Sometimes they're going to push you. And in some disgusting times, you might even get spat at. Yeah, it happens, okay? Now, Timo Werner, when he's on the ball, as soon as he sees the right back, I've seen him, I've watched him live. He looks up, oh, bloody hell, here comes Bello. It's a hot potato. I need to give the ball away quick. Somebody help me. That's how he responds to the game. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Don't get the fact that he got 3 assists. Don't be doing stats. Look at this, bro. I could get the same assists. I can do what Werner does for a £5. I swear to you. You give me the ball, as soon as I see bloody Antonio coming, I'll give it away. Then I run into space. Yeah? In front of goal, he's a disaster. Let's just be real. He's a disaster. But for me, as a winger, you got to be ready to ride challenges. If you can't ride challenges, then why are you here? Because you've got to be able to beat your man. I prefer good old Rule Fox. You want to talk about old school? I love Rule Fox. Go down the right-hand side, whip the ball in the box. Can Timo Werner run down the left to whip it in? If he's got acres of space, as soon as he sees somebody else, he can't do the job. So for me, Timo Werner is not good enough. And I would even go as far as to say Brennan Johnson is better than Timo Werner. Brennan Johnson is better than Timo Werner. At least he watched the show and he grew some balls towards the end because he got traumatized by Igor in the Brighton game away. And then for about a good 4 or 5 games, Brennan Johnson didn't want it. That's what happened. He didn't want none of it. And then he heard what we were saying, and he bloody went to the gym, started lifting 5 kgs, and he came out and he started doing something. Brennan Johnson's better than Timo Werner. Anyone that doesn't want to be tackled in football should not be playing football. They should be doing basketball or playing tennis. So as for Timo Werner and as for my camp, I will speak in a language we can all understand. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Yeah. Bye-bye from my club. Sorry, Sean.
Now, I am the biggest disser of the stats world, but that's the world we now live in. Our recruitment is now based on stats. That's what they're now doing. And the stats say that Werner contributes something, and he contributes something in the and system. The one thing he doesn't contribute is the thing that you and I agree on. He doesn't put the ball in the onion bag. He needs to put the ball in the onion bag. He doesn't do it enough. But what we have to remember, he came to us in January. He hadn't played since November the 19th for Leipzig. Hadn't played for 6 weeks, right? He didn't have a pre-season. He was having to learn Andrew's system on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I think he did as well as he could do. Now, given he's now joined us, because nothing can be confirmed until June the 14th when the window opens.
Right.
So let's cool our jets about why haven't we signed anyone. He'll get a whole pre-season. He knows his teammates. He knows the system. There'll be tweaks to the system as well. Don't get me wrong. Andrew will tweak the system, and I think he'll give us a better season in the second half. In the second season, we might not even take up the option at the end of it, but I think he'll prove his value as a squad member. And I want, I understand where you're coming from, and yeah, I share some doubts, but let's give the boy a bit of leeway. Let him have his pre-season. Let him bed into the system a bit more, and we'll see. He's not going to be first choice on the left wing. It's Son.
He better not be first choice, because I'm not going to lie. When I see Timo Werner, he's not sparking fear with anyone. And you want players that when the opposition's looking at him, go, "Oh bloody hell!"
He's quick, my friend. He's quick.
The only thing I will say is that the opposition did look scared. You can see that they don't want to press forward because he's there, but that is not enough to extend this brother's load. Look, I will press forward. If you want me to stand on the edge of the halfway line, yeah, I can do that. If that's gonna help, you know what I'm saying. But I take your point. Let's give him another season. If he has another dusty season, he needs to get out. I'll feed his Zane, literally. The other thing I would say is we had the option to buy last season.
Yeah.
If Timo Werner had any respect for himself, the fact that Spurs are literally extending the loan, he should be saying, "Nah, I'm not having that. You either want me or you don't." Because extending the loan is also a diamond indictment on him, which means that Spurs are kind of saying, "We'll keep you, but we're not sure about you still." And that in itself, a footballer that doesn't have confidence in himself, for me, is a worrying sign.
I wouldn't say. Well, I would probably read it another way, right? That not only has Daniel done his usual, the option to buy is cheaper, right? So he's saving us some money, but you don't forget, Ange gets in these players' ears,
yeah,
and he'll be saying to him, "You'll do for me, my friend. You'll do for me, and don't worry. You'll get your games. We're going to play more games. We've got a squad. We've got Europe next season." And what was his option? He was going to go back to Leipzig, and they were going to what? Put him in the reserves.
Put him on the bench, probably.
He wasn't getting a game, so he's getting a game. So in the end, the player wants to play.
Yeah,
and he's well liked. And I'll tell you something. And really likes a harmonious dressing room. You can tell that. We got slagged off positive vibes, but I tell you what, those vibes are important because if you love your brother in your team, you're going to die for them. You know what I mean? And I think that is a big thing in the Ange system. He wants, and it goes against. I know you were twerking a bit for Mr. Tony yesterday.
Yes.
Well, you were twerking for Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, I think, is like dropping a pebble in a pond.
Yeah.
And I worry that his confidence can turn quickly to arrogance, and that's not an Ange thing.
That was something I want to say. Just big up to VJ in the building, biggest supporter here, dropping stickers. Big up to VJ. No, I did say I wasn't sure whether Tony could make the step up, but it did make logical sense to me in the sense of we didn't have anyone up top who could hold up the ball.
Yeah.
Son could hold it up.
No, yeah. That experiment's done. Son is a holding central. It's not happening. It's not happening again. So we do need someone like that. I think Richarlison improved on that during the season.
Yeah.
I think that was positive coaching, but we still need someone better.
100%. We need someone better. Ivan Toney, when he came back, I watched Ivan Toney in the Man U game.
Yeah.
Where they should have won that game at least by a canter. And Ivan Toney was literally holding it, moving. I mean, he was causing a lot of distress to that whole back line. And for me, one of the things I felt that we were a little bit soft. Every game we played, none of the centre-backs looked rattled. You know, that's why we lost to the Newcastles of this world. We didn't have a bully in there roughing up the bottoms and roughing up the Shars of this world. And Ivan Toney, he gives us that. Even if he's not our main striker, maybe it's a different style of play. Maybe it's a different option. But one thing, you know, he's rugged and he can hold up the ball. And he wants, like you said, his self-confidence can borderline arrogance. But maybe that might hold him in good stead at Spurs because he's got big boots to fill if he was to come. And for 40 million, it's not risk. Is it risky business? I mean, 40 million in this day and age is pretty good business, in my opinion, for a striker when we're in a world where there's hardly any strikers. With the way that we play, he's going to bang goals. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he is homegrown, which is another good thing. He's Premier proven. Although I have to say, he didn't really tear up too many trees for me when he came back from his ban. And I thought his treatment of Brentford, who stood by him, was pretty poor. To be fair, you know, didn't sort of, he to quote you, Faith, he twerked for a move almost from the before he'd even got a kick. You know what I mean? And I just thought that doesn't. That's not an Ange thing. I'm sorry. I don't know. You know, this is my doubt. You know what I mean? I think character's really important to Postecoglou, and that's why I'm not sure that he's 40 million or what. I'm sure Brentford will want more than 40 million, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I sort out at the back. But if they want more than 40 million for Ivan Toney, then I would say that we shouldn't buy him. I don't think he's worth 60 mil. We've got Marcus in the chat here who's getting his knickers in his twist. He says, was this not a great season for Spurs? Why are you complaining about Werner? That's the level play that you should play. That's the level of player, I think he means, that should be playing at Spurs. You must be mad if you're going to be saying that that's the level of player. Spurs should be like Eze and the Lisa and the Manes of this world. We should be going in for Kieran Gibbs-White. Those are the sort of players. We should be going in for Pedro Neto. I need statement.
Oh, Pedro Neto.
But Marcus saying that we should be going for the likes of Timo Werner, you've got to be bonkers. That's like saying that Arsenal should be starting Nketiah week in, week out. That's what Arsenal is about. Yeah, that should be your marksman. That should be your version of Harry Kane. Nketiah. And look how much you've got for that. Quick one, Sean. Couple of comments from Donna here. Donna, big up to you. Donna's made a couple of statements. I'm not sure how we're going to deal with the first one.
Okay.
So the first statement from Donna, because we're dealing with pre-season here. Donna's throwing gems in there this afternoon. We've got about 15 minutes left. First question is, defensive midfielder is our priority this summer, but she's talked about the fact that we have gone in for Bergvall and that Bergvall could be our next Steven Gerrard. You know my thoughts on Bergvall. I don't think you can judge that player. One, he's pretty young. Two, he's been sourcing in the Swedish league, and I don't know where I rank the Swedish league in terms of world football, but it ain't great. So do you know much about Bergvall quickly? Should we be shaking our bum for this player?
No, I think it's a classic. It's a classic Tottenham move that we're looking for potential. From what I understand, the boy is pretty confident about himself. I look at him as a kind of potential Dele, the new Dele Alli. You know what I mean? He could come on. And remember when Dele Alli turned up, the idea was that he would play one game there and then one game there. But he obviously came on and he was nutmegging pros who were 30 years old, and they just said, "Well, Pochettino's never got to run with it. You've got to run with him." You know what I mean? And he has the potential to do that. Who knows? I mean, Sweden is producing players down the line. That Zlatan wasn't too bad, was he?
Well, Zlatan was good. It's just that Kulusevski is giving me nightmares, to be honest.
Oh no, I'm not having that.
Kulusevski has been an absolute disaster. Do you get what I'm saying? But I hope Bergwijn does prove to live up to the kind of hype. But I don't want to hype Bergwijn.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Kulusevski has been an absolute diabolical disaster, and we can touch on that.
We don't get the 3 points at Luton without Kulusevski.
That's about it. That's probably the only positive thing he did.
We don't win the point at the Etihad without Kulusevski.
Okay, that's a good point. But really and truly, when you look at Kulusevski of today, of Kulusevski that came in and stormed the Premier League season for the last months of the season, he's rubbish. If you give that one 8 out of 10, this one's like a 3 out of 10. So yeah, I take your point, but Kulusevski, man,
but again,
where does he play for Spurs next season? I don't think Kulusevski starts. He doesn't. If we do
start on the wing, he won't on the wing.
Well, so where would he play?
Well, he played a false 9 against City. Nearly won the game for us.
Yeah.
He played.
That means he will be
played a number 10 in other games. He could play him a number 10 against a team that's like a team in the mid lower table, whoever that might be next season.
Yeah.
He could play a number 10 if Gio's off, as it seems to be. Then it's. I still think that. I'll tell you what. I think Ange likes him.
I think
likes him.
I prefer him to Werner. That's for sure, because I think he can write and he can do a job. I did call, and I was surprised to see Postecoglou go with it. I did call for him to play the 10 because he did have a good game. He had a good run of games playing the number 10 role, and then against West Ham, he just wasn't himself. And I guess I think also Werner's had an impact on why the likes of Madders, Bentancur, because they look to the left and then they go, oh shit, it's Werner, and then they start looking to the right. That's part of the reason why I think our midfield isn't working. Yeah. So when you're saying shaking your bum for Werner, how do you think about the impact it's having on the rest of the players? All right, yeah, because it is legitimately having.
I'll tell you what, it does. In the end, it doesn't matter. It's the manager who picks who has the. He's the one who okays any signings this summer.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna, I'm not gonna keep taking the tabloids. I'll tune into you and have watch you rant, or you might even let me back on the show after today. Who knows? Maybe not. But you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of if Ange is okay with it, I'm going to go with it because he has the plan in his head.
Yeah,
he has the plan in his head, and and the thing is his knowledge of football is encyclopedic. These Japanese guys turned up at Celtic. People were going, "What the hell's this?" And they absolutely tore it apart. He made a player. He made a player out of Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Yeah, fair play to that.
Honestly, you ask any Celtic fan who's been the most important player for them in the last 2 seasons, they'll say Cameron Carter-Vickers, who played in a bloody Europa Conference League game for us and was torn apart by farmers in Portugal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, you know what? I am keeping the faith. I like Postecoglou. I like what I've seen of him. I just hope that these brothers that can do a Richarlison, and instead of sunning himself in Dubai or in Miami, I hope Kulusevski's in the bloody gym, getting himself ready, primed and proper for the next season. Donna's made 2 comments here, Sean.
Okay, go on.
She made a comment earlier about Tottenham looking at Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood's had these are exclusives. You probably haven't heard the air first. This could be a world exclusive. No other channel has picked this up. That is a controversial thing to say, and it could gather momentum in the next couple of weeks. Your initial thoughts on Spurs and Mason Greenwood? We don't have to go into too much detail. He is a great player, and obviously the stuff around him, but it looks like Man United have called him back from Getafe because he was waving his little goodbyes. He had a brilliant season, by the way, at Getafe. And maybe this is something we can pick up on another day, but just the initial thoughts on Spurs being linked with a Mason. I don't even think United sell him to Spurs anyway. I don't think it matters, in my opinion.
You know that's a two-way street, isn't it? They don't want to buy from us, and you know they won't want to sell to us. I wouldn't have thought, but I have to say, putting my human head on here, putting on my human head here, I can't see that being a good move. I really can't. And I don't think Andrew would run that off. I can't see it happening. I really can't see it happening. I think it would. Oh God! I mean, our fan base is fractured as it is. Just on a bloody loan deal yesterday. God knows what would happen off here. You know what I mean? I just think, for me, you know, there's too much baggage. You know, and you know, we know how baggage follows players around, and you know, I think I would. My gut feeling is probably what you feel about Timo Werner.
Yes, our feelings in.
Yeah, adios.
Domingo. Last point we'll talk about briefly, Sean. It's been a pleasure. I mean, this hour has just literally flown by. I think we talk football. Spurs have a war chest this summer. I think we've got about 200 mil to spend. Remember, we don't have FFP to worry about. And Marcus here is still shaking his bum, violently bashing away in his underwear at the keyboard at the prospect that I am downplaying Kulusevski. And the reason why I'm downplaying him is because he's, by his own standards, he's been fully dusty for my club. You know, dusty because I was seeing sandstorms when this brother was playing. And I take the point that Sean has made where he a couple of times have helped us out. But by Kuli's standards, he was poor. And I think even Kuli, even though he's watching this show and he's not happy with what we're saying, he would have to admit and agree he was even below his own standards.
I think when he was interviewed post Sheffield United, he kind of admitted that. He said, he was saying I should have scored more goals, or I should have done more assists. I mean, in his first spell with us, he was picking balls top bins. Yeah. And he stopped doing that. And I just thought, and that is partly the system thing as well. And wants a chance which is like much in the box. So it's either on the 6-yard line or it's at the back of the penalty area where a midfielder's come. There's another thing. We haven't got a midfielder who can ping it from the edge of the box. I mean, Sar's done it for Metz, but he hasn't done it for us. Or maybe once. And then don't give it to Basuma because bloody hell, he's worse than Werner. Not Rose-Ed, it's over the Cockerel and down the high road.
It's shocking.
It's shocking that he's got no shot on him at all. No, but anyway.
No, big point. No, all right, lastly, pick up on this point from Dr. Johnny D7. Big up to you, Dr. Johnny. First time of seeing you. No clubs get anywhere without backing manager or regularly berating players. No club. You want your team to be resilient. Show it in the stands. Yeah, you know what it is? Apart from Timo Werner, who I actually legitimately do not want at my club. I do just want the players to step up. Do you know what I mean? But also, I want our team to show ambition. A lot of the issues the reason why the fan base is fractured, the reason why people are calling different things out, one thing I can say the fan base was all united on is we could see some of the errors Postecoglou was going to make before he made them. The Emerson Royals, the Ben Davis of these world. Like I said earlier in the show, they've done great players. They've been loyal servants and they were doing a job for us. But don't feed them to the lions and then want us to be happy about it. That don't make no sense. And for us, we are a big club. So we've got to start behaving with a big club mentality. Worrying about the players' feelings ain't getting us nowhere. Look what Pep Guardiola did to Cancelo. If you don't like it, get out, mate. Simple as that. When you're playing in the Premier League, that's what it is. If you're a big club, you need to come with big... You know, Postecoglou talks about players wanting to be at our club. That's what he's talking about. You want to die for the shirt. And that's what we want to see as fans. We don't mind if we're going to lose. But if we're going to die, Let's, you know, is it 50 Cent? He said, get rich or die trying. You know, if we're going to lose, bloody die trying. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I want to be seeing from our club. So we're not berating the players, but we do want the players to step up. Definitely. This coming season, we need to be seeing positive progress. Sean, on that note, what does a good season this coming season look like for you, and what are you hoping for from our club over the summer? I know it's an obvious question, but if you had a crystal ball and you can make your wishes, what would you like to see? And nothing as crazy as Mbappe. We've got to keep it within realism as well. But what would you like to see at our club this summer?
The quadruples on. We're going to win everything. No, I'll tell you what. I really fancy us to go in the Europa League. I really fancy us to have a go at that. There's no parachute down from the Champions League into it. You know, I'm not really afraid of any of the clubs in there, particularly that now that Man United have replaced Chelsea. And I think, you know, we can have a right old go at that, and I'll be getting the San Miguel's in Bilbao for you, mate.
Mate, I'll be coming with you, mate, on that trip. So yes, take you up on that offer. Yeah. For me, I would like to see a state. Would you like to see a statement signing? Is that important on the Postecoglou is not really into names, I don't think.
No, I mean, I get it when he said, you know, I'm not going to buy £100 million player. I'll buy two £50 million players.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as I say, he character's important as well as ability.
Yeah.
And he wants hunger.
Yeah.
And it may be that we'll get players and we'll be all go, you know, God forbid, you know, we'll go, oh no, what the hell's that? But look, you know, Vicario, you know, everyone, you know, I don't know about you, but everyone.
No, I was calling him vicarious liability at the beginning of the season.
They were twerking for Raya. You see what Raya did in the game at our place? He nearly threw away the points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, Van der Ven. Oh no, everyone wants tap sober. Van der Ven.
Yeah.
Player of the season. So, you know, amongst the fans anyway.
Yeah. Player of the season for Spurs. But in fact, Van der Ven gets in most people's Premier League 11 for the season. I think even our fans have been taking their bum violently for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we've probably overpaid a bit for Brennan, but I tell you what, as you say, as the season wore on, he became more and more important, and he wasn't supposed to play every game.
Yeah,
you know, no player under Postecoglou is expected to play every game. He rotates. He takes them out on 60 minutes. Things have changed. Games are longer now. You know, you would have, you know, at 60 minutes, you'd have known that there was 30 minutes left, 30, maybe 35. Now the games are going on for 100 minutes, 115 minutes. You know what I mean? So like, you know, judging when to make substitutions. You know, and if you haven't got quality on the bench, then you know it's the best substitutions in the world. You know what I mean?
That's a fair point. My thing is, I've been trolling this, and I've got a Crystal Palace fan hopefully coming on next week. I do think it would be marvelous if Tottenham could buy the three amigos at Crystal Palace. I would love to see Eze, Matata, and analyse at Spurs next season.
You think I was bad at saying that we're going to win the quadruple?
Well, I just think if we're a big club like we say we are, we throw 160 mil at Crystal Palace. They bite our hand off.
But then they might lose Glasner.
Yeah, and he's a good manager. But you know what? 160 mil in Glasner's hands. He probably knows a few guys from Frankfurt, a few guys abroad that can do a job and fit in. I'm just saying, Eze, Elise, Mateta in our front three, 160 mil, not to be sniffed at by any stretch. I think just a under for that.
I will take Eze, definitely. I tell you what, I've wanted Morgan Gibbs-White since he played against us for Wolves when we still had Moussa Dembele in our team. He came on as a substitute that day and he absolutely bossed it. We were 3-0 up and we finished up only winning 3-2 at Molineux, you know what I mean? So, great player. And I love Gibbs-White. You know, I'm like you. I'm not convinced by Gallagher.
Hell no. Hell no. If we buy Gallagher,
he's too Chelsea. Club
if we
captain.
don't even think he's that great, to be honest. I don't know why people are shaking their bum. If we buy Gallagher, we're in the mud. I'm telling you.
Remember, there are 2 deadlines this summer. June the 30th is the first one. So
Yeah.
on the 14th, in 2 weeks, some clubs have got to sell a lot of players, and there are some very good players available. But they're not at Chelsea.
Bro, I don't want any of them Chelsea dusty players. Please, 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 please. And Pochettino done a bloody fantastic job at Chelsea. Inside man job, bringing that team to their knees, and then Chelsea doing the unthinkable, letting him go.
He's back in Barnet. He's inviting Ozzy and Ricky round for the old,
right.
the old barbecue on the Tottenham barbecue.
No, Poch, great job at Chelsea bringing on the scum. I love it. That's what we like to see. We love to see it. Sean, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
It's been a great show and great talking to you. Let's hope Tottenham do the right thing. That's all we want for our club. Do the right thing. Bring in the players. I don't care if they're not big names. Surprise us. Surprise us like you did with Van de Ven. Surprise us like you did with Vicario. And let Spurs march on. Is it imperative, though, that we finish above Arsenal next season?
Do you know what? I've got this gut feeling. I don't know if you share it, Deji. I wonder whether Arsenal can go again.
That's what I've been saying, Sean.
I wonder whether they got so close this year after the previous season. You just wonder, listening to bloody Lego Head, for another 12 months, will some of the players that have been around a bit longer start to think, oh, fuck it, not him again. You know what I mean? Light bulbs, playing bloody You'll Never Walk Alone on the side of the pitch of the fucking training and losing 4-0 in the subsequent game at Anfield. Yeah. I mean, I wonder. I'm not. I expect them. I have to say, I'm preparing myself, and this is really sore that they could be champions next year. But something deep down inside of me thinks they could come unstuck.
This is why you're legit. I've actually gone as far as to say, I have said this, and I will say it again. I think they're done. I think Arsenal are done out here because. Remember what happened when we got to the Champions League final? Part of the reason why we started the season the way we did was the players were mentally drained to get to a point or lose that disappointment. And you're looking at Arsenal, you finished second twice. And you finished second to a dusty Man City team. And when I mean Man City being dusty, out of the 4 times they won the league, this was the worst team by far. Yeah. Let's just be honest, You still lost. How is Arteta going to pick these players up mentally? And a lot of their players are playing in the Euros anyway. So, and they went a whole season pretty much with hardly any injuries to their most influential players. Don't be telling me, Arsenal fans, about Partey. I don't give a damn about Partey. And Jesus is not your main striker, so get out of my
face. The only player that really got injured was Timber, and he got injured pre-season.
Well, so Timber, in my opinion, is a bloody unknown. We don't know if he can acclimatise to the league or not. So I don't even bloody count him. I think
he came from Ajax, and we know who else came from Ajax.
Yeah, exactly.
The dustiest manager in the Premier League.
This guy, and he's shameless. What I do is win trophies. Can you believe this guy? After all that dusty football, he's coming with chest saying all I do is win trophies. But yeah, I think Arsenal could be in trouble next season. Don't be surprised.
Honestly, it won't surprise me. There's something, people are going to say, "Oh, you're a Spurs." Of course, you're going to say that, but no, I think there is a potential. I mean, there's the other potential, as I say, is they could be champions, and that will be. My phone's off. I'm disconnecting from social media. I'm disconnected. I'm throwing my phone in the Irish Sea. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's like I'm not having it, but it's God, there's a little, how it is. You just get that inkling that, maybe not Rice, because Rice is quite new in the door, but the likes of Odegaard and Saka, limping boy, you know what I mean?
And I would go as far as say if Arsenal don't win the league, the likes of Saka and Odegaard will have to start looking somewhere else because
what you mean, like Harry Kane, they'll have to move in order to
they'll have to. Saka would be a dummy to stay a couple more seasons because you could, in theory, they could win nothing under Arteta. That's like legitly. Don't talk about FA Cup to me in the season that Unai Emery was in charge for half the season. In the time that Arteta has been in charge of a whole season, he's won nothing. And for me, that is a legitimate fear in the Arsenal players. And I think they start to question the process if they don't win the league next season. But I think it could be a disaster for them. Just mentally, we're seeing the mental fatigue in Saka. We're seeing the mental fatigue already creeping into Martinelli. I think that team and that club could be done for, in my opinion.
We are singing from the same sacred songbook, Deji. We are singing from the same sacred songbook.
That's why we need to get together more often. Big up to everyone locked in, locked on. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. That is our pre-season panic, positive progress, talking all things Spurs. Thank you for tuning in. And we are... Oh, no, hold on. Before we are out, can we plug... Sean, can you plug our channel?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. If you like most of the shite that I chat about Tottenham, come over to us on PRTV Spurs. We're having a bit of a relaunch during the summer, but you'll get as well as my rubbish, you'll get sensible stuff from Sam. You'll get funny. You'll get songs from Sid. You'll get a lovely, soothing voice of Judge Jody. Congratulations, Jody, on the new arrival, by the way. And we'll get Deji on over as well. We'll get him on during the season, yeah. Yeah,
100. It's got to happen. We'll make it happen. So, no, big up to you. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Locked on. For those Arsenal fans who are getting really upset, Marcus, don't you worry. Make sure you click this, mark our words. We'll be playing this back to you.
Let's go out Stevie Wonder. Don't you worry about a thing, baby.
That's right, baby. And we told you before June. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.